Today I want to make you aware of a relatively new, really early, but I think really interesting Linux application that I don't think most of you are going to use, but I like the idea that someone went and did this. A project called Vish. This is a visual scripting tool for Bash. It is a node-based way of writing a Bash script. It is very early, it is very experimental, and it's not going to work for the majority of use cases, at least right now. But I like to see people trying out something new, even if the idea may be kind of flawed. It describes itself as a complete node-based experience for Bash scripting. Complete as in, it's completely node-based, not complete as in the experience is complete. There is a lot of things which right now do not work, and we will absolutely get to those. Vish is made for educational purposes and to simplify the process of creating Bash scripts. It is not intended to replace traditional text-based scripting, but rather to provide an alternative way to visualize and construct scripts. It can help beginners understand the structure and flow of Bash scripts, making it easier to learn scripting concepts. Not necessarily the syntax, but how to lay out a script. And as you are connecting the nodes together, you can actually generate and see the script it is writing. If you've ever used a node-based editor of any sort, it's going to seem relatively familiar. The dev does say this is inspired by the Unreal node editor though. Currently, it's not nicely packaged in any way, so if you want to go and run it, just go and pull the code. It's a Python script, go run the main, and here it is. So, I've got a test project here, but there is nothing in it. This right here is the application. Again, it's very early on, it's very experimental. A lot of things you would expect to be here aren't here. Like, there's no search bar for nodes or anything like that. If you want to actually access the nodes, there is a right-click menu. Everything is contained in here. There are also shortcuts for things which probably should have buttons eventually, like being able to auto layout the graph or creating comments, things like that. But you can do most of the things you want with this, and all of the obvious shortcuts like copying, deleting, those are going to be what you expect them to be. If you've never used a node editor, basically the way this works is we make a node, so the first node has to be the starting node. This is where the control flow actually starts from, and then from there, we connect nodes together. So let's do a basic one. Let's do a display text. This is a shortcut for just doing an echo. If we go and link these together, this is the output side, this is the input side. Some of them are gonna have tooltips like the start of the flow. Don't expect those to be there. A lot of tooltips are currently missing. On this middle column over here, this is the place to actually edit what that node is doing. So the start node, that doesn't have any properties to edit, but display text, this is the text we want to display. So let's go and change this to hello world, and then we go generate bash script, and there's a script over here. You can either run the script directly or go and copy it to your clipboard. Now, instead of just doing display text, we can go and use the generic run command. So under the command menu, or there is the search bar here, there is run command. This also has the dot on it, so let's link those together. I'll explain what the other dots do in just a bit. This autofills with ls, but we can put any command in here we want. So let's do, once again, echo, and let's do hello world 2 to make sure it's clear that it actually changed. And there we go. We are doing basically what we did before, this time not using the simpler display text. The reason why that's there is you're going to want to do a lot of echoes anyway, so you might as well have a node that is a basic way of doing that. Also, it does act as a sort of a documentation of the nodes with the nodes themselves. If you just see a bunch of run commands, these could be any commands you want to run. Let's do another thing. Let's go and run a function. So, call function. Let's connect this together. Now, we can define what function we want to call. Let's just call it test_func. Now, to actually call that function, if we just go and generate the bash script now, it's going to try to run that function, but that function doesn't exist. Now we have to go and define the function. Either by once again searching function or going into the flow section, we can find function. This is where we actually define the function. So this was called test_func. Let's change the text in here to test_func. And if we generate that, now there is a function actually being generated. But that's not very useful. We need to actually do something with the function. We have access to your basic control flow, your loops, your if statements, your while loops, your returns, all of this good stuff. We're just going to do an if condition. So this takes quite a lot. Firstly, let's link the function start to the input of the if condition. Now, what do we do from here? So the output side, this is based on the results of the if condition. So I'm going to do something basic here. We're just going to do a display text. Let's connect this together. And let's have this be 1, and let's make another node. We can copy that with Control-C, paste with Control-V, link that to here, and then let's do this to 2. Okay, generate the script now, and it's going to fail because there is no condition on the if condition. This is connected from the yellow node. This is the condition to evaluate. It is still going to generate something on the right-hand side here, but what it's doing is just taking the display text and then ignoring the if condition. I think this is a bug, and it shouldn't even be generating that in the first place. So, for an if condition, we need some logic. So, we have your logical ands, your command condition, equal to, greater than, less than, all of the basic stuff you want. Equal to is what we're going to use for one main reason. It doesn't actually work how you might expect it to right now. So let's move that over there, connect this up, and if we go and generate the script, even though we don't have anything in equal to, this is still a condition, and it's going to use the default values of the logic. So it's 0 equals 0, and then our if statement is generating correctly. But that's not very useful, so let's go and actually change what is being compared. Take note of the colors of the dots. So far, we've mainly been connecting the white nodes. The yellow node here, this is for your logical comparison. The blue nodes here, the teal nodes here, this is for mathematics. This is for numbers. And you might already see the first problem there, but let's go and actually do the comparison first. So let's go and take a constant, okay? Let's take a numeric constant. This has a teal node. Connect this up here. And then, just to make it easy, we'll use another numeric constant. So, let's set this one to be, I don't know, 100, and this one to be 20. If we go and generate this, now the first number is going into the first slot. The second number is going into the second slot. Why did I use numeric constants and not do something useful like, for example, we can get a variable and we could compare some strings? Take note of the color of the node here. You actually cannot connect this node. Let's remove this line, so get rid of this node here, and then try to connect these. That doesn't work. And it's not just because we have a numeric constant here. If we get rid of that and then try to compare it, because this is not a number, it can be converted into a number, but because this is not a number, it can't be used in equal to, even though Bash does have string comparison. This, I feel, is a pretty big oversight to the way that this was designed. The way this should work is if you're passing in 2 strings, it should do a string comparison. If you're passing in 2 numbers, it should do a number comparison. That's the basic idea here. There's some weirder cases where you try to compare the 2 of them together, but this is sort of the problem you get when you start doing node-based stuff. You start getting at the edge cases of the way that things actually work. And you might say, oh, maybe there is a different node type that lets you compare strings. At least right now, that's not actually a thing. So right now, you actually can't do string comparison, which does mean that a lot of scripts you might want to write are just not actually possible. However, what you can do with text is notice that this dot here and this dot here are the same color, so we can actually pass this into display text, and then rather than using the text that's in here, use this text as the text that is being displayed. Whilst we're talking about node colors, I do want to mention that this pink and this orange, they are obviously different colors. obviously to a lot of people, they are very similar, and the longer you stare at them, the more they start to look basically the same. My recommendation is making the colors quite a bit more distinct, making this just like a vibrant orange, and then that problem isn't there. Another thing that I'd really like to see is more comprehensive tooltips and making it more clear when you spawn a node, what it's going to need. So with this if node here, it does have a tooltip on the yellow node that tells you, hey, this is a condition to evaluate, but it doesn't sort of direct you into the path for where you would find those. Okay, this this one doesn't actually indicate what it is, just says A and B, which isn't very useful. It doesn't indicate that this is taking in some numerical value, some number, some mathematical construct. On the topic of mathematics, there is mathematics in here as well. What I think you could do here is obviously making sure that everything gets a tooltip. A lot of these nodes just don't have tooltips on them. This one does, but it's like sort of few and far between. Also, when you actually go to spawn a node, indicating the colored dots it's going to have, whether it be like a line up here or something like that, some sort of indication to know exactly what you're going to see. Obviously, when you get used to the application, you use it more, that's going to become like more straightforward, but when you're new to it, it can be a little bit confusing. There's also a pretty big bug, and there's a reason why I haven't played with it yet. If we go and move the canvas, now we can't actually drag any of the nodes. So the only way to fix this from what I can tell is just restarting the application. There is the zoom here, so that does give you some more room, and yeah, it still doesn't fix it. So anytime you try to drag around the canvas, it just dies. Also, you only get this much dragging. Maybe it expands as you do more things, but I do like the ability to clearly separate things rather than being forced into this little canvas as the application wants to expand for you. A much more serious oversight is currently the lack of pipes. Now, you can do pipes. So if we go into commands, we do a run command, and then I, were to do, I don't know, echo something into something. Like that will work as a thing you can do. But that's sort of circumventing the idea of doing a node-based system. There should be a pipe node that you can connect things together with. This project is very much a work in progress, and honestly, you might even argue it's probably too early to even talk about it, but I do like the idea that something like this is being made. It's just that pipes are so foundational to bash scripting that if you don't have pipes, you don't really have bash scripting. A tool like this is never going to replace writing a script by hand, and that's not the point of it. As the developer said, the point of it is to be an educational tool as a different way to create bash scripts, as a way to understand the flow of the code without necessarily writing it by hand. I wish the developer best of luck. I hope the project goes well. I think it is super cool, and yeah, I like unique things. Even if it's not something I'm going to use, even if it's not something that most of you are going to use, I like that somebody is doing something cool and trying to make things better. But what are your thoughts? Do you like this idea? Have you tried it? Are you going to try it? I'll leave the links down below. Check it out if you want to. And yeah, help out if you think the idea is pretty neat. So if you like the video, go like the video, go subscribe as well. And if you really like the video and you want to become one of these amazing people over here, check out the Patreon, subscribe, Stelly Berapay, linked in the description down below. That's going to be it for me, and hey, I like cool ideas.
Something like this.